Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Billy Newman Photo Podcast. My name's Billy Newman. I'm here today with Marina Hansen. How are you doing, Marina?
Hey, Billy. I'm doing good, thanks.
Thanks so much for doing another one of these podcasts with me, another 10-minute format thing. We're going to be talking about two photos today that are going up online for me. You can check them out on my website, billynewmanphoto.com, or on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or Flickr, 500px, I don't know.
One of those photo sites.
A little photo site out there. Did you hear about all the Flickr stuff?
No,
Like
what's going on with that?
well, it's like Yahoo overall got like hacked, and like Yahoo's selling to Verizon,
Oh,
and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But they're just not really certain like what's going on with Flickr, or like what's going to become of Flickr, because like a lot of I don't know, people aren't. It's just not really a place people really want to be anymore.
yeah.
There's not a lot of activity.
I don't
Instagram is where you
make very much use of it.
Yeah, I mean, I get emails of like people who like have favorited a photograph that shows up there.
That's cool.
So for the next 6 months that it's around, and since I don't do any work to put things there, I'll let it keep going. But I don't know. I feel like Flickr and Tumblr
Oh, yeah. Tumblr's
like
one that
pretty
seems
out
like it's
for me now.
a little bit more for other things.
Yeah,
Less like photography focused, more like pictures of things.
yeah.
Which is different, even though it kind of sounds like the same thing.
Yeah. I don't use that one much for anything anymore. There's a lot of those sites that seem to be kind of falling out of fashion now. And I think with the way that like a lot of things are communicated, it seems like it's sort of left whatever that micro blogging thing was back, or for Tumblr, or for whatever it was back in the day. There's probably still a handful of decent Tumblr accounts, and really it should be more interesting or more used than it is. There was a lot of cool stuff you could do with Tumblr that like really reflected like a website, but there was just never any people there. And you could kind of sort of half fake it for a while as like a site, but it never really worked right, or it never like looked real up until like pretty recently. They look pretty nice, especially if you get like a premium theme. You can like layer on premium themes and stuff to Tumblr. But now when I look at it, like when I look at the photos there, and like for all the work that I did trying to like communicate with people and like get in touch and stuff, there's just really nothing there. It's sort of like Google Plus or something now.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that's there is just
There's just no one to
a
use
bot,
it.
or is sort of a person. Or it's a person, but they're not really interested.
Yeah.
Well, they're a little interested, or they're just really interested in Tumblr and in Tumblr things, and so they like hit everything. But man, yeah, there's no traction there at all. So there's more on like 500px.
I was gonna ask where you
side.
do notice the most traction, or like where it seems like there's more interaction from other people that are using it.
There's a bit more there, but really it's Instagram.
Instagram seems like it'd be the answer.
It's a photo or media related thing that you're sharing, or that you're trying to like broadcast out, it seems like Instagram is the place. I think because so much attention is on the phone.
Yeah.
And because Instagram works really well. It's like the threaded messaging system, but sort of the stream of images, or stream of content, and you can write more than 140 characters. You can write paragraphs of information. Like you can do.
Man, yeah, some people do.
Yeah, really
write
a lot. Yeah,
a lot of paragraphs.
Yeah, you just can't like add links, or you can't really do things like that, which is probably what saves that, or what kind of still makes it quality. Otherwise, it'd probably just be like we even
It's
still
just
see
spam.
just crazy spam links through everything. So it works really well. I think that for people that are young and that are trying to be photographers, it seems like Instagram is the top, or just the be all end all of attention that I should be spending. On, like other than the stuff that just gets like duplicated, which is great, but it seems like Instagram is really where the attention lies. Probably Snapchat otherwise. I don't know how you would do that though. I haven't really like heard of a photographer working out Snapchat in an effective way, because it seems like with Snapchat it's like more like one-on-one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you and I don't really experience these big Snapchatters, which almost seems kind of like a farce to me. Or it's like, I don't know, I guess people are out there, but it just doesn't seem like these networks are really that large. At least any that I experienced. I wish I could kind of understand that more, but there's like like on Vine, there's like these Vine stars that have like millions of people who know who they are and like make money through advertising things on Vine.
Yeah,
And
I don't
Vine
get
is
that.
over. Like Vine's like hardly a social network anymore. Or well, I mean, at least in my eyes, and like in the top level of social networking stuff, it seems like Vine is kind of tailing off with Periscope kind of coming up and Snapchat coming up like way ahead. And yeah, it just doesn't seem like that really worked out. But that's still like a huge thing, and it's nothing I've ever really even been on. But there's a whole
Yeah.
group of millions of people who associate with things that happen or things that people do. And it just seems so weird.
Yeah, it seems pretty weird to me too. That's about my experience with it also. I really not used Vine.
Yeah, I did it twice, and I didn't really feel that. Well, I think at the time it was definitely this idea that there's really almost so much time, and I need to get better at a few things that I pick,
Mhm.
especially when you're young. It seems like, all right, well, I need to like pick up the skills that I need, and I need to like figure out which of these skills I need to spend time on. And it seemed like social media or like doing
Mhm.
vines wasn't really
Not the answer.
where it would be. It probably could have been, or it probably should have been. I probably should have been more invested in in things like that. Like if I were making other choices to be successful in a different way, it probably
Mhm.
would have been smarter for me to get more invested in the new media things that were coming out then and then earlier than that in a more real or more developed way than what I was at the time.
Yeah.
I should have
I
probably done that.
guess I guess you didn't with Vine, but I'd say you've been pretty ahead with other things though.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
in like
right? We
use
used
making
Vine, and then it
use
was like,
of.
oh, this is a loser, and it's a loser, like or it's it's not around. And yeah, there's a few other things that I was early on, but it seems like a lot of the newer things that just don't have a place for me. Probably
Yeah.
because I'm getting old.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be 28 in like 2 weeks, Marina.
Oh man.
That is, yeah, it's kind of old.
It's your late 20s.
I'm gonna have to get used to that. No, I guess it's sort of what this has been, but yeah, it seems I gotta act better. I'm almost 30. I can't act like a kid. Um, yeah, that's I gotta think about that. Yeah, so I'm like getting way older. Um, shoot, what was it?
So
We're talking
Vine
about
stuff isn't.
the Vine stuff. Yeah, it's like there's Vine, there's Periscope, there's
Yeah, just whatever new
Musically.
things.
There's like a lot of these that I just don't seem
Oh
to
yeah,
have a.
Periscope really
Yeah,
went past me. Or I remember when it came out. I remember using it a little bit. I remember you using it a little bit.
yeah,
But
we
it just wasn't.
tested it a
I don't know
little
how to
bit.
use it. Or the answer, or kind of what I noticed was like I don't really know what to use it for.
Yeah, I didn't know what to use it for because I wasn't really looking to like broadcast a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And it does seem like kind of a strange thing to just broadcast about yourself. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just something that I don't really understand. What I wanted to do is like have stuff focused on like the photos and stuff, and
yeah.
so like
The cool
yeah,
stories with
yeah,
the trips you did.
Facebook and Instagram, and that's all automated stuff too. I can kind of like stack it up, and then it all goes out, and it's all saved and stuff. And that's why Snapchat was tough to get onto because it's like, well, I really just want to show the photographs that I worked on, the stuff that's nice, the good best pieces that I
Right.
picked out, and not
Yeah, the
just like
filtered.
yeah, outside of just a little messaging apps that like you and I, or like you and I and like a handful of other friends that are at a
Mm-hmm.
place sending messages back and forth or something. Like it's great for that, like small networks, but I don't really understand it as a really big network system or a really big like, oh wow, that person has like huge Snapchat numbers.
Oh yeah.
It's like I don't get it, but I mean people really get into it, and I just don't really like that kind of content as much. I don't like just the
Yeah.
little clips and stuff. I mean, I guess it's as good as anybody's home movies, and you only have to see a couple seconds of it, so that part of it's kind of fun. I mean, it's probably the best way of like visual communication on Snapchat to like kind of like just only see like full screen like what other people are doing and like what their perspective is kind of real time because it's so like locked into the app and it's not things like even Instagram where that sort of started with that ethos or
Mm-hmm.
that idea that it was like just from your phone and just what's happening now and sort of quickly affected in this toy camera way.
Yeah.
But it was like kind of a quick like snap from your phone and like throw it up, and understanding that it's like not
Yeah,
really a good
a
picture.
passing thing.
Yeah, like a passing photograph. That was kind of the idea of Instagram in like what 2010. Did you use it much back then?
Not
It's probably
really.
like some
No, it wasn't really
2011 or so, right?
until, yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't really until 2011 that I started using it.
Yeah.
It was really, yeah, it was really like on that bigger road trip that we did.
Yeah, 2010 is real early. Late 2010 is when it started. I think it was like October. I was tracking it for a while, and then yeah, I started using it in 2011, in like January, February 2011. And yeah, it was definitely really all about like, and because we were talking about I think the other day or on another podcast what how bad the old camera phones were, and how you
Right,
like
yeah.
all
And
the
the
colors would come
filters.
out weird. It would come out really yellow, or the lenses would make things just look kind of warped and
Mm-hmm.
gross. Or really like the biggest part was the digital sensors, and however the image processor, like the computer part, the software that would like work out what that picture would be. It was just so like clumsy and bad, and you get all these like chunky little bits and weird gradients and stuff. Man, I had like a bunch of really bad photos, but
Me
but that was
too.
like the cool thing
Old
was is
phone
that
photos.
yeah, you just like throw on the filter and like and throw it up on
Yeah, it's
Instagram.
improved. It's
And yeah, now it's kind of been replaced, or it's sort of been maybe overtake, or Instagram sort of shifted into a more professional visual arts
definitely.
platform, which I think is really cool. I like using it for that. And then Snapchat's kind of moved into this place where there's a lot of good video. Really, there's a lot of interesting video, and phones are so much nicer now that the video is just like, wow, I'm looking at this HD footage of just somebody's afternoon with their dog. And
Hmm.
it just seems, but it's like sort of a faster connection with like a lot of people, or, with like a smaller group, like, I don't know, the 20 people that you probably communicate with the most, something like that. I
Yeah.
think it's really interesting for that. And it kind of locks in a lot of attention because you have to like move through it, and you like have to see it, like tap to get rid of it. It's only a couple seconds. So there's sort of a value to how long you look at it,
Right.
or that you look at it. It's like, oh, I'm going to look at it right now because I only have a second to look at it. And it's kind of an interesting way that it locks in attention and stuff. So it's kind of fun to use Snapchat, but even still, like posting other photos, which is what I'm like most interested in.
Right.
Because otherwise, it's just like pretty boring stuff. And me, like, I'm at a laptop, I'm in
Yeah.
my
Working at
car.
my laptop today.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just
Driving home.
walking around. There's a camera. Here's a car. It's like, so it just doesn't seem like it's not like big stuff because like that's not like the experience of routine life. So I don't know. It's kind of strange. I like using it, but I really like Instagram, I think, for all the like professional photography stuff that we're into the most right now.
I like it a
And I
lot for
really
that.
liked using a lot of this. Well, we've been posting a lot more to it. I really noticed in this last year. I think it's been now 1 year since I started using Hootsuite. I've been using Buffer, I think, before that for a good amount of time. But I think it was right when we went to Vegas last year. And it's like just switched over to Hootsuite and I had set up a bunch of stuff. And yeah, while we were at it was cool because you'd like watch it drop out and you're like, oh, cool. Wow. Yeah. Like I set all these things up 2 weeks ago and I still have like all these messages going because
Yeah.
with Buffer was a big pain because I wasn't, it's only like 10
Yeah, it's
or something
limited
for
on
them.
how many you're allowed to
Yeah.
pre-post.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so and I jumped into it because I wanted to try and manage it more this year. And it's probably been the most, I don't know what it would be like. I probably posted more content or more pieces of or more photos this year than I had in the years past
I've
before that.
noticed a lot.
It's probably been a
Uh,
lot in the last couple of years though. I think since like 2015 and to 2014. Not even earlier than that. Probably like early 2014 is when I started trying to like keep out like a handful of photos every day.
hmm
So it's probably been going for a while. Yeah, it's a bunch of pictures. I'm glad that we've been putting up so many photos, but there's been
Yeah,
a
you got
bunch
a
of
lot
big
out.
breaks too, where I'm just like out of stuff. Oh man. But yeah, it's been like a year since I got that. So the stuff that went out today, the photographs, Marina,
The photos.
the two photos that went out today on through Hootsuite, up on a Facebook, out to Flickr, Facebook, all the other places we just talked about, especially Instagram. At least one of them made it. We've got the first one. It's another photo from Smith Rock that we shot when we were hanging out with our friends on a weekend trip over to Central Oregon earlier this year in August. It was a great time. We had a real nice trip hanging out in Bend, and then we drove up Saturday morning, Sunday morning. I think it
Uh,
was Sunday
I think
morning.
it was Sunday.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we
because
ended
we
up.
drove back
I think
that
we took
day. We
back.
had to
Yeah,
go
we
back.
yeah. So we did the Saturday stuff. Yeah, so Sunday, yeah, we jammed up to Smith Rock. We went up to Smith Rock, Oregon, and Terrebonne, Oregon, north of Bend. Probably everybody, the 8 people, you and I who listen to this later, will know where that is. And yeah, we cruised over to where our friends were climbing on the like northwest side of
Right.
Smith Rock. It was a good spot. It was still shaded rock, and that was a tough thing, especially in August. Right now, you'd probably want, or like as we go into winter on the dry days out there, you'd probably want to have some sun on the rock or some warmth out there. Like when I
Mhm.
was out there in April or something, the year that we went and did some climbing stuff, it was just like way too cold out there.
Oh
It was just
yeah.
like that freezing cold. So if you can get some warmth or get some sunlight on you, it's like a little lizard on a
Mhm.
rock. Is kind of what you feel like probably out there. It's nice to get a little bit of warmth when it's super cold, but on those hot days, the opposite, it just like grabs so much heat and you could just get like swamped way too fast. So we were out in the shade on these hot days, and it's pretty. I mean, like anybody's climbed, and I've only done a minute of it. You know that it's like super physically straining. It's like so
Yes.
strenuous. It's like such a calorie burner. Like there's so many like things that you're doing that's moving, and you're just like, oh, well, I'm like flushed and like burned out. I'm gassed in just
Mhm.
a minute or two of doing it. So yeah, we were out hanging in the shade on the northwest side, kind of near Monkey Face. If you'd been out there, you kind of see
Yeah.
people. I think yeah, we were just in from it, just south of Monkey Face, uh, kind of climbing up on a couple. What is it, like top rope? I think that's what it is. Anybody that knows about rock climbing is gonna be like, oh, this is dumb.
Who are these people talking about?
They were at, yeah, well, because there's like I think there's like top rope, which I think is what this is, and that's sort of the sport climbing stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, sport climbing might even be different, but I think it's where like they have the rope, and then like one person does
This is
lead
the lead
climb,
climb.
and then you gotta do the
Yeah.
clip in every 8, 10, 15 feet or something
Right.
until you get to the top, and then you rope in and set up your deal, hook your carabiners in there, and then yeah, you drop your rope, and then you rappel down, and then was it belay?
Oh yeah, the
You
person on
belay
the
the other
ground.
person, yeah, up, and then yeah, you got
Little
them hooked
Blair.
up from the top rope, I guess.
Yeah,
So so yeah, they were setting
that's what
up
they were doing.
uh, these top rope routes on the side of Smith. It was a cool spot. I don't know. They have at least a pretty decent amount of experience. I have really none out there, so I don't know anything about the routes or what they were, how hard they were, what it was like. It seemed like a mid-level, but it was interesting. It was cool. Yeah,
It was, yeah, it was really a pretty like straight up and down wall.
yeah.
It was very
Well,
steep
a
and a
lot
lot
of
of
them.
like
It's
cracks.
so weird how it is, like the types of holds and stuff. Because it's not even about
Hmm.
like how vertical it is. I guess it's a big part of it, but like it's like if it's two finger or if it's like it's just like super
Yeah, like
small
how
amounts or
much?
like yeah, what however many like little holds there are, even if it's just like oh, there's a couple good spots for your feet that are like really pretty sure, then
Hmm.
it's like oh, an easier route. It's so strange, like or if there's like spots where you can like really grab on to something, then it's easier. Or if there's a crack, that's
Yeah.
like a different kind of. But then there's like more complicated cracks. So strange how I don't know how they like up, get into or like understand like oh this is this much level of difficulty more. And it's so strange when you're on the rock because nothing's really identified or marked.
Oh yeah, you don't have all
So you
the
just kind
color
of like
coded things.
feel around and there's nothing. I mean, because everything's just a weird lumpy bit that's sort of flush to the surface of the rock that's vertical. And you're like, I don't understand. I don't know how people get good at this. It was fun hanging out there for the afternoon. And yeah, this photo shows a couple of our friends that were I think packing up the climbing stuff for the day, hanging out, and it sort of shows the rock face that we're on as it sort of slopes out to the west there, the western horizon where you look out over the city of Terrebonne and Central Oregon out toward Sisters there. So it's kind of interesting. You kind of see that slope of the rock as it kind of just drops straight out and then out to the horizon where you just sort of have that view out to the west. It's really pretty out there with the photo. You can't really see it, but and especially like with the angle of view, but it's really cool from that spot. You can see a lot of the Cascades when you look out. You see like Bachelor, then like was it like Broken Top, South North or South Middle North Sister. Uh, I don't know what's after that. What it would be like a Mount Washington, like Three Finger Check, and
Yeah,
Mount
Washington.
Jefferson, and Mount Hood, and you can see like you can see everything up in the Cascades, and it's pretty cool. I liked or I was like going over there to Smith Rock for that view, and like to a few of those places in those like mountaintops out
Yeah.
in Eastern Oregon. It's really cool because you just get like such a great view of all that Cascade range that's there. It's really cool if you can get there on a really clear day. You can see super far south. I think you can see Mount Shasta in
Oh,
California.
that's cool.
I bet you could probably see up past Mount Hood to Mount St. Helens. I think maybe Mount Rainier. I'm not sure. You probably see way out. It's pretty cool. From just even a little bit higher up, you can see so much further.
It's really cool. Yeah, I like getting to have those like higher views of the mountains. It's really neat getting to see more of the mountains together
Yeah.
and like kind of understanding better like where they are in comparison to each other.
Yeah, yeah. Understanding the geography when you get out. It's so much easier when you get to actually see it. Or
Yeah, when
like
you're like above it and
when
you
you get
can
to fly
see.
over, it's like such a different thing to like, oh yeah, okay, it's like see it from above. I didn't really fly much when I was a kid, but it was really cool to like fly over areas. I think I went up one time in a helicopter above my house.
Oh,
It
that's
was cool. I
cool.
went on a little helicopter ride. It was like a carnival, or it was like something while the carnival was going on. You go up in a helicopter ride and then
That's
come back
cool.
down. We kind of went around town for like 15 minutes and then
How fun.
dropped down. Yeah, it was really cool. I was really pumped for it. I was like 11, 12. I was like, yeah, yeah, let's go.
Helicopter.
Yeah, I saw my little house and the pool and stuff. I was like, wow, that's cool to see little people walking around. It was fun being
Oh,
in a helicopter. But yeah, it was so interesting to see like looking down and see like the area around and what it was like. It was just really cool. But you get like such a better sense geographically of how the land lays and like the the flow and stuff of how the mountains and stuff lay out. It's really interesting
definitely.
how it is.
Yeah, it's
Or
cool.
like what you notice, like, oh yeah, I thought that was like all just like the same direction, but these things are like
Oh yeah,
not.
this like
They're kind of like
curves down this way.
yeah, twisted and torqued and so, just weird little ways. You're like, oh wow, I thought like these two things are sort of in the same spot, but they're really not different. Or it's like really like different when you look at it from the air.
Yeah, it's cool getting those higher up perspectives.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, it's cool. Cool spot about Smith Rock. The other photo we had, it's a photo of a cool rainbow in an October scene after a rainstorm in the Willamette Valley. I think I was on my way home from work when I took that picture
That's
on that
cool.
film camera. Yeah, it was cool. I think it was like one of the last photos in the frame. I think it's really zoomed in on that little tree, and the rainbow from this perspective was dropping right down on this little tree that had kind of these green golden leaves on it, and it looks real pretty. I wish that
It
I got
does.
to see cool light and nice little evenings like that more often. We gotta
Yeah,
find some cool places to go photograph, Marina.
we do. I like this photo a lot. It's really cool. Just that big chunk of rainbow coming down onto that little tree.
Big chunk of rainbow. Yeah,
It looks, it
yeah. I think it
looks
was
like
with
a
the.
movie almost.
Oh right, yeah. It
It
does
has a,
look
it has a,
artificial.
yeah, it has an interesting look to it. The clouds are like the really cloudy sky and the light on the trees that are to the side of the rainbow look really cool
Oh yeah,
too.
isn't that nice? That's the thing I love about that moment because like that's as the storm passes over, so you get the really really dark dense cloud over to the
Right.
east, and then to your west behind you, probably lower down. Like this was like in the evening after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and so the sun's real low, kind of cutting right underneath, and you get those real warm golden tones, and then it doesn't really or your background, the clouds kind of catch all the light, so it doesn't really
Right.
blow out the sky, and you get that nice, cool, dark toned, textured sky in the back. It's really fun. Yeah, it's one of the best times to take photos, and it was really cool that there was a fun rainbow. I shot it with the 400 millimeter, and I zoomed like way in on it. I think there's a handful of photos that are kind of the wide out of it, and it's
Hmm.
just sort of like the pencil thin line in the photograph as it goes by. But in this photo, what I think is so cool is with the compression when you zoom way up on the rainbow, you really see like how thick it is in the photo. You kind of see
Yeah.
like the structure, the strata, the different layers of color that you see. And it's strange that it's just an optical illusion, but you still can capture it in the camera. It's really fun. It just seems like it's a real thing, like it really exists. And it's really neat. I
It
like that photo a
is.
lot.
I like this photo a lot too. I think this is a really cool one. I think this is a kind of different kind of rainbow photo. I really like that about it.
Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. It is a little bit different.
I think
I don't
just
know how
like
to
with
really
it
make a rainbow
being
new, you know?
zoomed in like that,
Yeah, I like that.
the
I
way
like
the
that a
light
lot.
is around
And
it.
yeah, I
I
was
think it just looks like a
real
really
fortunate to
unique
get.
photo of a rainbow.
Yeah, thanks, Rita.
It's cool.
It was fun getting a cool rainbow photo in. I don't have
It's
too many
fun.
of them. I never really, or well, there's only been a few times that I've been in a good spot for it, and this was a great spot. There's so many times
Yeah, it
I'm
was
just in town and it's
perfect.
like power lines and buildings and streets and dumpy cars. And this was really cool though, being out in the countryside and getting a good shot.
Yeah,
That was really fun.
it looks
Early,
really good.
mid October. Yeah, it looks great.
It's fun seeing it come back through your feet again. I
Yeah,
like
I
to see
like
that.
having it come back up through the feed. There's probably I don't know, I can't remember what the next couple photos are. We'll probably find out when we talk about them on the next podcast. Thanks a lot, Marina, for doing this podcast with me.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks for having me on.
Ooh, I appreciate it. And thanks everyone out there for listening. On behalf of Marina Hansen, my name is Billy Newman. And I appreciate y'all listening to this podcast, especially